Okay, so welcome to my page again. This is BIGSAM BEATZ. Today I'm going to do a lot of talking, and because somebody asked a question in my previous video that he wants me to talk about mixing, even though he was not specific about the mixing, the kind of mixing that he wants me to talk about. So I'm doing this video to give you an idea about mixing and what you need to know. So first of all, anytime I talk to people about mixing, what I say or what I tell them is, imagine yourself in the kitchen trying to cook a delicious meal for yourself. You're going to consume the meal yourself. So first of all, I want to cook jollof rice, or I want to cook eba and egusi soup. So with the kind of food that I want to cook will determine the kind of ingredient that I'm going to buy. Even though there's certain ingredients that I will need in both meal, like salt, pepper, tomatoes, I will need in both meal. But there are other ingredients that I will need them in jollof, but not in eba and egusi. So as a mixing engineer, you should know the kind of song that you are going to mix. So it starts from the producer. Mixing itself starts from the producer, the person creating the beat, because mixing starts from the selection of your sample. I always say this. The selection of the samples is same as your ingredients that you need to do the cooking. Carefully select your sample. The first thing that you need to know. So I've started talking about what you need to know or what you need to do a great mix or to mix a song. Depending on the kind of music that you are going to mix or create, carefully select your samples. So answering that question of what kind of music that I want to create will depend on the samples that you are selecting. If I want to create a reggae song, I don't need to pick samples that are used to create afrobeat. Yes, there are certain type of reggae song, like the reggae tone. Yes, you will need certain bouncing kick and stuff that are used to create afrobeat. Yes, but I'm talking about a one drop reggae music. The samples that you are going to use to create that wouldn't be the same as that of afrobeat. So as a producer, be careful about the samples that you are selecting. Sometimes I get projects that I need to mix. I mean, the drum pattern and everything has been arranged very well, but the samples that were used to create the drums, sometimes I have to replace them so that I can continue or start the mixing, because it doesn't sound right. Carefully select your samples. That is the first thing, because the moment you start playing the beat, you have started mixing. So don't use any sample because you think it is punchy or it is heavy or it is loud or it is something. That is why you are using it. No, make sure it sounds right. Be careful with the samples that you use to create your beat. Be careful about that. Your mixing actually starts from the selecting of your samples to create that particular beat. He's a very big engineer in Ghana here, and he mentioned one producer that he liked working on or mixing projects from that particular producer, because the producer knows how to select samples to create the instrument or the kind of songs that any artist goes to him to produce. So he, the engineer, liked working or mixing songs from that particular producer just because of the samples. Selecting of samples is not just anything. It's the beginning of the mixing itself. So as he said that, it means any production from that particular producer, he doesn't waste much time mixing that particular project, because already the beat itself sounds good already. So he just need to make sure the vocal is going to sit well in that beat, and the topmost priority is to get everything clear in the mix. Every instrument, right from the vocal, the kick, the guitars, the keys, the bass, every instrument will sit well in the mix without struggling with each other. For me, clarity is my priority Anytime I'm mixing, clarity is everything for me. Even if there's a pin falling on the floor, that sound, I need to hear it in the mix. Make sure everything is clear. You get me? So selecting of the samples is key. And another thing, when it comes to the vocal, I'm coming to the vocal, and the vocals, actually I want to talk to the artists. If you're an artist and you are listening to me, or as an engineer listening to me, you can also take this step. As an artist, don't just sing like you are reading from a book. Most of these up and coming artists, they lack this training, because they have the voice and they can put down certain lyrics. They think that is all. No. Have time for yourself. Rehearse on your own songs. Rehearse on your own songs. Make sure you are too familiar with the song, so that when you get to the studio or the booth, you will sing from within. Every musician listening to me, every singer listening to me will understand what I'm saying. If you are familiar with a particular song, anytime you are singing, you put your all in it. Yes. Don't go to the studio and be singing two lines, recording two lines. And, sometimes when you do that and you go home, listening to your own self, you feel like, I think I can do more. Yeah, I feel like I can do more. Let me go back and do it. So after writing your song, get the beats and have some time for yourself. Even if it's a week, rehearse on the song. Make sure, yes, you are into it. So that when you get to the studio, you record. Yes, I know most of you will say, oh, there's no time. Recently, I was listening to Kinata, and Kinata said, the reason why some of these songs that we are releasing nowadays doesn't last long is because of vibe. Oh, it's a vibe. Some of them don't even write the song. They just get to the studio, they hear the beat, I heard the beat and I put this vibe on it. And the song will come out, and within 2 months, it is out. Yes, I know there are a lot of songs in the system right now, but certain songs, when you go back and listen to them, you see like, Charlie, it still sounds good, like current. So as an artist, have time for your own self, for the song that you want to do. It's a product that you are creating. If you don't create it well, people won't buy. So have time and create it well. Engineer. So most of the engineers that I know, they like to record the artists themselves, so that they will get that great vocal that they can mix, so that the song will be great. As a producer or engineer, make sure the artist is doing the right thing, singing the song well. And make sure the distance between the artist and the mic is also reasonable. The artist don't need to get too close to it. You're going to get a lot of low end that will also disturb the mix. And the artist also don't need to be too far from the mic. That will also be a disturbance. You understand? So the distance should be measured. Get a right distance. I think I recorded this actor, what is his name? Calibos. And the moment he enters the booth, he asked me the distance between myself and the mic. Is it okay? He asked me. And I realized that yes, this guy, he knows what he's about to do. And trust me, he nailed the song. That was the first time I heard him doing music. Yeah, I didn't know he was doing music then. And when I recorded him, the moment he enters to the booth, he asked me that, Charlie, where I'm standing, is it okay? So the distance between himself and the mic, is it okay? And I said, yeah, get back a bit. And he got back a bit. I just realized that the guy knew what he was going to do. Ibab. So the distance between the artist and the mic, you should measure it. You understand? So that it won't disturb the vocal take. You understand? And then last thing that you need to do as a producer or as a mixing engineer, you need to create your own template, personal template. Create your own personal template. You understand? The template like mine. So this is my template. I'm just going to go through to it. So this template, I'll talk about it more when I start talking. I do video on vocal mixing and then also that of the instrument. So as I said, the mixing of the instrument, varies, especially when it comes to the samples that you are using. So depending on the kind of music that you are creating, you select your samples. So the samples that I will select for a reggae song wouldn't be the same as afrobeat. When I get to mixing of instruments, I will talk about both hip hop, reggae, and afrobeat. These three major genres, I'll talk about them. The kind of samples that I use to create my hip hop, the kind of samples that I use to create reggae, and then that of afrobeat. So this is my template. This is a template that I use for everything for my production. So I have a folder where all drums. So this is all drums, and I have folder for drums. So in that folder I have hi-hats, snare kick, rolls, and then effects. You know, producing some of these afrobeats, you need these effects to create transitions in this beat. So these effects are there for that. And my tag, so I have a bass for the kick and a bass for the snare as well. And all this instrument goes into one group channel here. And I have that of percussions as well. So these are my percussions, and I have a bass for the percussion as well. So I'll talk about reason why we have bass there for the percussions. And all these instruments also goes to including the percussions, also goes to the group channel. And then we come to the bass. So I've created some bass tracks here already. So this the log drum and other bass here. And I also have a bass, a group channel for the bass. And the guitar as well. This is the guitar. I've created the tracks here already, and they are in one folder. And I also have a group channel for the guitar. And that of the keys, these are the keys. So the keys includes piano parts, strings, violins, maybe sax. Yes, so they are all here, and I also have a group channel for them. And then I come to the vocal. So this is how I have arranged the track instrument in my template. You can choose to have your vocals first before the instrument or any other thing. For me, I choose to have my drums first, then the vocal at the bottom. So I have the vocal. So in this vocal folder, I have that of the lead vocal, and then that of the BVs, the backing vocal as well. And I have a group channel for the lead vocals, and then a group channel, separate group channel for the backing vocal as well. And I have another channels for a rap, you know. So if it is hip hop or there's a rap in the song, I have a channel for it, and that one also has its own group channel. You understand? So this is how my template look like. I'll give you more details about it when I do a video on how to mix a vocal and an instrument as well. So let me wrap up on this. Everything that you need to know about mixing is what I'm talking about. So first of all, the selection of your samples, the beats. You know, your mixing starts from selection of your samples. So the kind of samples that you select affect your mixing. So as a producer, you should even have some days that you just listen to the samples that you have, group them, make sure you select the good ones and group them in folders. The ones that you use to create hip hop and that of afrobeat or that of reggae or any other genre, group them so that it's very easy for you to select whenever you are about to create. And then secondly, you also make sure you record a good vocal. Make sure you record a good vocal. Also, create your own personal template with the DAW that you are using. I'm using CUBASE. So yes, so any DAW that you are using, you can create a template for yourself. So create a template, and then make sure the template that you are creating, everything should be in it for vocals and then for the beat as well before you even start mixing. This is what you need to know. So in my next video, I'm going to talk about vocal mixing separately, and I'll talk about mixing of beats or instrumentations, and that one I'm going to do separate videos, that of afrobeat, that of reggae, and that of hip-hop. These three major genres, I'm going to talk about them. Maybe I'll do one video to cover all. Depends. So thank you for sticking with me, and then don't forget to subscribe and then comment anything that you want me to do a video on. Comment and then I'll do it. Thank you. I'm out.